I guess I'm a little nervous. I've never done something like this before. I'm a mother of 3 children and 8 grandchildren. I have a dog and a cat. I watch a lot of videos of people, what they post, and their good stories, their bad stories, and I don't know if what I'm even going to say even matters, but for some reason I feel the need to do this because of one of my children. You see, I am a mother of 3. I will always be a mother of 3. My oldest son, Jacob Jones, I gave birth to him June the 4th of 85. I was 17 years old. I was young. I wanted a way out of where I lived. Not that my home life was bad, but let's just say that I just wanted out. And of course, I found this much older person that I thought that loved me and would always love me. And the abuse started only 2 months into me leaving my safe haven of my family home. I was too scared to ask to come back home. I was ashamed of hurting my parents the way that I did. So I pretty much took the punishment. I figured that's what I got for disobeying my parents. I was his 5th wife, unknowing that. As I said, I was 17 and dumb, not knowing one thing about a marriage, much less being somebody's wife. And then I became pregnant with my child. Even carrying his child, the beatings were there. He never really showed love, but to me that was love, so I thought. I took 13 years of those beatings, the rapes. I gave birth to 2 other children. And finally I had said, I can't do this anymore. My children can't keep watching what you're doing to me in front of them. And I left. And my punishment for that was that he took his life and punished me and my children for that. So Jacob, the oldest, he remembered more than the other 2. He would speak on things that it shocked me that he could remember what Daddy did to his mother. And I hate to say it, my son had an anger issue also. He didn't know how to treat a woman. He would be abusive. And his time here, he had met a young lady, of course, got her pregnant, and she gave birth to his first child, which his name was Jacob Jones also. And she finally was smarter than what I was. She wasn't about to stay with someone that would abuse her and do things. A couple years went by and he met another one, got her pregnant. And unfortunately, this one here that he hooked up with had a lot of mental problems, unfortunately. She didn't take her medication. She gave birth to another little boy named Chance. But in 2005, Jacob was so desperately wanting his past to be his past. He wanted to move forward. He wanted a job. He wanted a home. And he jumped in front of a vehicle that put him in a coma for 67 days with brain injury, broken back, broken ankle and leg, fingers and wrist. They managed to put Jacob back together, but it left him with pain that he would live with for the rest of his life, with a head condition that would leave him with loss of memories, forgetting things that would be so easy for you and I to do. To work on any project would be a tough task for Jacob. He would forget what he was supposed to do, what was he doing, but he did it, and he did it very well. He also struggled with demons. The head injury left him feeling that somehow he was battling something after him, or he could feel it. He would ask for help, and I would get it. Sometimes he would go, and there would be times that he wouldn't. When I said Jacob had a past, it was always that he went to jail for abuse. But the last time he went to jail, when that boy walked out, he said he'd never go back. I don't know what happened in that prison to my child, but the look on his face, the way that he said it, he said to me, "Mommy, I will never go back." And he never did. He never broke the law. My boy had changed and grown up. Even though he struggled with pain in his body, trying to do what is normal, and that's live a life, people just wouldn't let him. People wouldn't forgive and forget. And where we live in our little town of Rising Sun, the police department, they are not your good friends. They're not here to protect you. They will bully you. They use their badge to get what they want, even if it's wrong. Because I have another son who had an addiction problem that would cause him to do things that you shouldn't do, but addiction makes you do things that you would never do. And unfortunately, he would rob homes, take things that is not his, and the mother of the children, the girlfriend that he impregnated, gave birth to 2 boys. Well, while Alan was in prison, she became a heroin addict. And after a good while of seeing the nonsense that she was putting the boys through, I took control of the children. I still have one. I refuse to let him go. One of them became old enough to state that he wanted to live with his mother, only because he was afraid of her dying without someone there to bring her back to life. She died many of the times in front of her children, and you would think that alone would make you want to stop, but it doesn't. But between all of these kids and grandkids, my husband passed away from kidney cancer, and so I was left alone with trying to raise these grandkids and trying to just be there for everybody. But somehow I failed Jacob. I got so wrapped up in trying to help someone who was a drug addict and didn't even care what she was doing, that my own boy needed me more than anything. And I just should have took the time to make sure that he was getting, go on lady, the help that he really should have got.